Disclaimer: this video is for educational and historical purposes only. IMCBKS Ch Boris the Russian. Admin January 16, 2022. YMCBKS Borislav the Russian. Ch Boris was the result of 1xw1xgl Gustav, ch recoil son, x Yoshida, 2xw1xglak daughter, a well-balanced breeding that I liked ever since we owned the sire and the dam. Ch Boris was never going to be here if it was not for the risk I had to take to breed the sire, and dam as his sire's second prep work on the cards a week out before the dam's heat was over. My partner supported it but also was not sure as we never bred a male in a keep ever. So I must make the call for advice, and call our Jamaican brother all the way locally as he has been imported already, hahaha. Enough of that mating, we did it after we consulted with the bounty killer. Ch Boris was born 4 days before his sire lost his second show. Ch Boris was a very laid-back pup. He would exclude playtime from the litter, and play on his own, roaming the yard doing his own thing, even feeding when none of his litter mates are around, or if they were sleeping. I liked his calmness yet confidence as a pup. He would never start fights, or get into fights. If a fight happens it would not last long, as he would show he does not want to fight by walking off. At around 4 months things changed when I got another female pup, who was very dominant and would just want to fight until one night the little fighter, glorious in battle, whipped this female pup like a big dog, and I let it go for 2 minutes. He showed good ability, and showing that he would finish if given the chance. I stopped the little play manner, but he is restless, so I had to separate them. The next day it was like nothing happened, but he hurt her bad. Ch Boris showed lot of fire when I walked him out, screaming at dogs, doing everything, showing that his was the boss, and would want a piece of anyone daring to cross their lines. At 8 months I looked to school him, got 3 dogs lined up for him as he was already a huge pup. I could only manage to get smaller dogs, that is why I let him go into 3. Its release, he sees the first dog, and flies out of my hand like a rocket and jet altogether. Boom, he hits the throat of the first dog. Seeing that Boris is still young, I told the guys I would just give him 5 minutes. The first dog in so much shock screams, and does not bother to bite back, and not being ready for what he has just received. We stop that one on 1 minute, bring the next dog, he does the same thing. Dives into the chest, showing his ability, speed, and raw natural power. Third dog, the same thing happens. By now I am excited, and we stop it all at 4 minutes, as I would just like to guide my boy. Ch Boris is 10 months old, and we put him into our own stock man, where we surprised the hard-biting croc of a chest dog that messed up one of our prospects' chest bad. It ended his career. This puppy is not moaning one bit, but rather wants more of it by showing what is made of, and the pressure he can tolerate at this young age. We bring the next dog, a face dog, and it is crazy as this puppy, being Ch Boris, is not showing any signs of slowing down one bit. Me and my partners are incredibly happy this far. He still had 3 more after these classes where he did just as good. Let us start his career at 1 year 3 months. I gave my crew the heads up I am putting our boy's weight out is ready, and they told me I am crazy, but still supports me. We get weight, want hook him 22 kgs, but opponent says it is too heavy, 21.8, and we. YMCBK Boris versus SKS Raiden? 21.8. It is the day we wash and wait and we good to go. Ref says release, and it is on. Boris comes out hard into Raiden's shoulders, but Raiden, with the age on his side, and a bit more experience, takes Boris off before he can settle on his hold. The two of them starting to wrestle in the center. It is 10 minutes in, and Raiden showing good mouth, but Boris the pup takes it with ease. 13 minutes a turn is called on Raiden, as Boris is turning up the heat, hitting shoulders, chest, throat, jacking Raiden up in the air. 20 minutes it is clear Boris will bring it home for us as Raiden is badly hurt. 25 minutes handle is made, and Raiden to scratch, and he comes out true, but Boris slowed him down quick. Boris slams him to the floor, pins him, and dishes the flurries out on him. 27 minutes I get a quick handle, Boris to scratch, and he meets Raiden dead center, send him into mid-air, with the impact of his scratch. With crowd going crazy saying they never seen anything like it, we in the winning seat for sure now. Raiden felt that scratch alone. 31 minutes another handle is made with Raiden to scratch, and he stands the line, making Boris 1xw, and Raiden 1xl. Next 1xw. Boris is well rested and only 1 year 5 months of age now. We look to hook again. There was a 1XW on 20.5, and I am about to do something crazy to meet the 1XW as my crew says I am crazy. But like always the support is there, haha? The show never happened, so we ended up taking a novice from the same camp and dropping 1 kilogram to play. Risky move it was to put a pup through. It is time to play 1XW. Boris had a difficult keep as he was sick, rested 70% of the keep. In all honesty, 4 weeks of work was too much, but we managed to get him ready for a show we also were not sure will happen. He looks smaller than his opponent. Lockdown has just implemented level 5 during the pandemic, which had just started, and the show is a week away. With plans put into place, the show is on. Boris comes in 21.01, but he did not want to empty either. His opponent coming in at 20.89, and looking fresh, stronger, bigger than the little 1XW Boris pup. It is time to release, and they meet like 2 freight trains. It is on the swapping holds for the first few minutes, figuring each other's moves. Falcon showing good mouth, good ability, and Boris staying in there. But it's clear the 1 kilogram drop had an effect. It's 35 minutes and Boris taking a punishment of his life, but we doing this as a team, and Boris staying calm as always. 45 minutes, a turn is called on Falcon, and it's granted, but a handle is no way in sight as the speed the dogs are going is still frantic. 55 minutes, Boris on the floor still taking a beating but staying calm, and doing his own silly ways of putting Falcon off by trying to attack, but Boris forces him to defend on the head. 1HR10 the first handle, and Falcon comes out flying, and refreshed, and lashing it out on Boris once again. But Boris still showing no sign of giving up. 1HR 20 minutes, it is Boris to scratch. He comes out straight, but stumbling, and it is on again, but hey. Wait a minute, Falcon does not want to be touched anymore. He growls, as Boris just tries to get a better hold, and boom, like a night rider, he goes, and sit on the ears to stay out of trouble. As he senses this puppy isn't giving up. 1HR 30 minutes, another scratch for Falcon. He comes out straight and true, it's on again. Boris trying to go for the kill, but Falcon, like before, protests again, and scrambles out of the hold to go to the ears. 1HR 45 minutes, Boris again to scratch. He comes out stumbling once again as his legs are badly battered, and also he never had his full keep, and it's showing now. 1HR 50 minutes, Falcon to scratch. Oh, it is starting to show on Falcon, and those in his corner sees he does not really want to be here anymore, but somehow manages to come and mouth. They start telling me pick up the dog, his game is good. All I could tell them, look who's panicking. 1HR 58 minutes, Boris to scratch. He comes out once again stumbling, giving all his got, now applying more pressure as we go in once. It is all said and done at 2HR 02 minutes, a handle is made with Falcon to scratch, and he stands the line. The seconds asks if Boris now a 2XW will come again. I say yes, and release Boris, and the ref catches him as is coming out again in the straight line stumbling. Well done, my boy, you showed us heart tonight. YMCBKS 2XW Boris. SKS1XL Falcon, what you show you gave us. Boris recovered very well after the long show, however a week later I had to crop his ears, since it was not getting any proper blood circulation anymore. 1 year 11 months, Boris fully recovered. We want to get the boy hooked once more, and we get him hooked at his true weight 22 kgs. YMCBKS2XW Boris vs Boxcole. Its release day, tension is high. Boris is ready but very tense now, resting on his chain spot and not wanting to empty out. He comes in at 21.6, and Cole comes in beautiful at 21.9. Release, and Boris slams Coles from center back to his corner, and jacks him by the throat. The crowd loves this, and Boris loves the whisper of his name ever so softly. 10 minutes in, and Cole shows what is made of, showing ability, and putting pressure as well. But Boris came out of a nightmare show with Falcon, but our little boy know what pressure is since a puppy back then. 20 minutes, Boris going into the throat again, swapping ear holds, and starts dancing, as well, but Cole isn't no pushover either, and shows what is made of by giving blows to Boris, as well. 22 minutes, a turn is called on Cole, and a handle is made at 25 minutes, and Cole showing he wants more as he goes crazy in his corner, and he comes out hard. They go tit for tat for the next minutes, Boris hitting shoulders, throat with deep chest holds, jacking Cole up from his feet time, and again. 30 minutes in, handle is made on Boris to scratch, and he comes out flying directly to Cole's throat again, and lifts him with that same hold. 35 minutes. Blood starts flowing from Cole's legs and chest area, and he's taking bottom now, and Boris hitting him all over, senses it's time, and punishes Cole, not giving him any show. 40 minutes in, and a handle is made Cole's to scratch, and he comes slow but true, and Boris opens the floodgates more, and Cole's throat area is swollen, and more bleeders hit in his front end chest area as someone in the crowd says, "Boris broke Cole's chest, check there." At 47 minutes the handler throws his towel in conceding, and 2xW Boris is crowned Ch Boris, as Cole makes his game scratch, making him 1xGL. Well done YMCBKS 3xW Ch Boris. Tough 1 box kennels 1xGL Cole. YMCBKS Chapter 3x, W Boris vs BIGBKS Hustler. Weight 22 kilograms. It is a chilly day in the east as we prepare for a long drive to the west for a 9-hour drive. Time is set, dogs get loaded, and we off. We on the road. 3 hours into the travel we stop, letting the champ stretch legs. We are traveling with 2 champs, and the task is not east. He's tense and ready to go as he knows he does not drive in his sky crate for nothing. Finally, we reach our destination, and the champ took the travel very well with weight looking incredibly good. We let him rest throughout the day, but it is a stressful day as he broke out and escapes from the crate few times. We put him on the chain spot that belonged to 2xW Lefty, who was going for championship at the same arena for a few minutes, and he's okay but wants to work as he knows what is coming. It's time leave. We set off to the meeting point and soon we on our way. Whilst on our way our opponents have a breakdown without us noticing. As we meet up again, we realize the guys are missing. It is a panic stage cause now me and my team are thinking, will our boy play? The champ was to go first but ends up going third as a good friend of ours manages to go search for the opponents, who later meets up again to say their car broke down. The champ is tense in his crate and alert. Finally, second show is finished, and I come to take him out and he comes bursting from the crate. As we say, save the best for last. Ch Boris 22.04. Hustler 21.97. They ask me to drop his weight each time I try. He launches back to where he smells the action coming from. But the opponents say, come let us wash. Dogs are released, with Hustler being much bigger than the champ. They meet in the corner with Hustler trying to take the ear hold but cannot get an ear hold as the champ has no ears, and gives a nasty shot on Boris' right eye. At first it does not look that bad, but the swelling started, and it is like the pupil wants to pop, and it's just 5 minutes into the show. It's 10 minutes in, and dogs are still sorting each other out. Boris, pushing for throat and shoulder holds, which he gets occasionally as Hustler has his dancing shoes on. Hustler showing good ability with Boris not pushing too much as he sees Hustler as a dancer. The crowd, not understanding Boris' style, says he's going jump as he does funny moves, and we do not realize this until we see. Boris is hiding his sore eye by avoiding Hustler to reach the right side of his by fighting loose holds each time Hustler gets onto the right side. 20 minutes in, and with Boris punishing deep in throat and chest and dishing it out holds more and more, dismantling Hustler, who is now slowing down due to the punishment on the throat, shoulder, and chest holds. 25 minutes in, Boris starts to fang but has slowed down the dancer already. 30 minutes, I tell Hustler's handler your shoulder is out as Boris punished it and took it out. 35 minutes again, Boris fangs, and this happens for the next few minutes for the rest of the show. It is now all Boris, and he starts mopping Hustler on the canvas with throat, chest, shoulder holds. 45 minutes in, the champ in full control, and Hustler just taking a beating like a true warrior. A tough show, no turns, no out of holds, both dogs always in hold. 58 minutes in, and Hustler crew see there is no coming back as they concede, making Ch4xW. They ask for a courtesy on Hustler, and he comes falling and rolling over as if his chest was on rollerblades as both shoulders were taken out and chest damaged, making a game scratch and awarded GIS. We shake hands as great sportsmanship was shown. YMCBKS Ch4xW Boris vs 1xWBIGBKS and BHK 1xW Thomas. 22.2 kilograms males. Chapter 4xW Boris 22.14. 1xW Thomas 21.98. This was one of my toughest for our boy as I had to make a tough call for the best of his interest. Was not planning to box him this year, and had no winners. We were only opting for a winner if a winner were to come, as the champ already faced 4 novices in his career, I get a call from a good brother of mine saying he has one XW open and ready, but we will have to travel. I speak to my partners about and we talk as they know I want to get my boy ready, done, and retired. My team agrees with me, and keep is supposed to start, but I am hit by a roadblock in the second week, and find it hard getting boy ready for no 5. I call for my partners to meet me, we discuss some issues but are unable to assist, as we are only 3, and I'm busy with the 4XW, and my one partner is busy with 2 dogs of 15.5 FM and 70.5 FM who ended winning one show, and forfeit one prior to the upcoming shows. My other partner was also busy preparing for a big show with Bronze, who was 4W going into a Freak of Nature GRCH Monster 6XW, and a Lost Cop 1XW, who were also traveling to the West. I produced a solution, and they agree. Let us speak to the bounty killer whom I consult to finish the keep for me, as he is our last resort. In less than 5 minutes on the phone he agrees. We make plans getting the 4XW ready for his trip up, and it is on. I am relieved, as I was in no way letting waste the time of a good brother who asked me for a shot with his 1XW into our 4XW. It's travel time, and we leave the east for the west. We arrived, our 2 boys had a good travel. Ch4XW Boris on arrival looking in good shape as well. It is time to release. Ch Bronze, our first boy, overcomes his counterpart GRCH Monster in 1HR 47 minutes, wow, what a show, making him a well-deserved GR Chapter 5XW. It is time for Ch4XW Boris, and the moment he's loaded is all on alert ready. We weigh and dogs are looking good with the weights looking good. Ref orders the beast to be released, and bam, Boris meets Thomas dead center, jacks him up, and puts him down, driving him in the canvas to the side in a deep chest hold. This goes on for a good few minutes with Boris stuck on the chest magnet to steal. Thomas tries getting up, but no, Boris does not allow this, and puts him down again. After about 5 minutes Thomas gets to feet and Boris dives into his shoulder again, work vigorously, and non-stop swapping shoulder to shoulder, chest and throat, hitting a bleeder on both chest and right shoulder. At 10 minutes I call a turn on Boris, as Thomas tried taking him off, and he left his hold, and as quickly as he does that, I knew his right, I was not 100% from his last show into the same camp, where his conjunctiva flipped out and he was protecting it but turning away whenever Thomas tried to bite him on the right side. Funny, the spectators thought he was losing interest. Dogwoman who cannot see the show properly. 11 minutes I get the handle Boris to scratch, and he comes like a missile out of his corner, meeting Thomas dead in his corner in a throat hold, and you could hear from the same crowd that thought Boris was losing interest comments as if they were getting heard on behalf of Thomas. Boris is smashing Thomas, not giving away anything on any grounds, like an expert at work, a proper one-sided affair. 13 minutes Boris's fanged ref gets it out and the punishment continues. Boris goes to the stifles, and I am surprised as he's not a back-end dog. The crowd says he's going to jump get Thomas into the fight. Ha, Boris is just getting started at playing dirty, looking predictable, and showing Thomas knew my face, you will not get a taste of. 16 minutes a handle is made with Thomas to scratch, and he comes out after the punishment, has just been through to hell, and back, any dog would not have stood by it. At 22 minutes it's all on Boris, and his mopping the floor with Thomas taking a beating of his life, defenseless soul. 24 minutes Boris to scratch, and meets Thomas halfway, and takes him back to his corner. Now the crowd is getting excited as Boris is coming out stronger and stronger. But wait, Thomas is getting smarter on the scratches, and tries to scratch on Boris' face but no prevail. Boris scratches like ball, runs into Thomas, and slam him with his shoulders, then gets hold of Thomas's head. At 25 minutes it is all said and done. Damage is immense, and too much on Thomas, and he could not touch Boris. He tries one last time going for Boris's face, and fails it at 28 minutes on his scratch. But Boris is ready for this. He shows his experience, and why he is a 4XW by turning Thomas' muzzle away from his face, and working muzzle before his shoots into throat, pins him down working throat, ending the massacre at 32 minutes Boris to scratch. He sense he need to get this game dog done and dusted. Thomas starts protesting, and I am surprised as he only started protesting where some dogs would have long started. He was one tough son of a gun. At 36 minutes the handler of Thomas admits defeat and concedes. This makes Boris a GRCH in 36 minutes? Amazing how the same commentators who thought he was going to lose interest in one-sided affair became fans in such an abbreviated period. Wow, my boy, tonight you showed the AK-47 we have been waiting to see once more. Took a while. Ch Boris only showed full maturity in his last 2 shows. What a super dog he is. Now you will live a good life, and a stud, and healthy life, my boy. You have made your mark, and the square. Only time will tell your mark as a producer to us. Who knows if it wasn't for your eye what would have happened. But I guess 5 is way more than enough for us, and to my team, thanks for the support, for standing behind me, and Ch Boris from day one, and a big thank you to the bounty killer, making in our 5 count, Borislav, all the way.